All right, welcome to a WinAdmin's intro to the Zero Trust Workshop made by Microsoft. We're going to show you what the Zero Trust Workshop is for, how it can be used, and how you can get started with using it.
Yep. My name is Johannes. I'm going to be here with Lewis, and well, like he said, you're going to go through how this works, both the Excel file, the websites, and the deployment guides. This is a lot easier than you think. This should round some of the corners, so you're not going to feel as overwhelmed. So let's get right into it. You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, find a website, and you can get to it by going to aka.ms/ZT Workshop.
Yep. I just type that in here.
So a while ago, there was a PowerPoint that Microsoft made called the Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Architecture, and they update that every few years with all the products in the security space that Microsoft maintain, and it also has lots of things in there about strategy and why you should do things to sort of change mindset in your business. I used to joke that that was the best PowerPoint ever made, and now they've made an Excel file that's of the same caliber, which helps you do good things in your business. And this is what this workshop is.
Yep. So we can take a look. We'll post all the links in the description, but if you end up on this URL, you can download the workshop tool, which it's not an executable. It is just an Excel file that looks like this. Has a lot of the things laid out in a nice, friendly manner. Zoom this out a little bit. So it gives you an idea of what you need to do, and it's all clickable. You can take, for example, I don't know, roll out conditional access with multi-factor authentication controls. If you have no idea what that is, you can just click on it. It will take you to a site that gives you references and some idea of what this is. And then once you've made your decision on this action item, you can Lewis, this is not working.
Okay. This might be where I should share my screen. I can show you what it looks like in Excel. So give me 1 second.
Yep.
So when you open it in Excel desktop, obviously it's a bit more fleshed out and there's more controls and stuff. But if I click on any of these drop downs, there's a list of things here to mark where you are with it. So you can use it to track where you are. And I've actually added not applicable to my version of it. So it's completely open. It's not locked. Because I know that some of the customers I deal with won't have ever had Federation servers, so it's not applicable. But you can go in and mark it at any point, and you can even add notes or comments to each section as well, if you want to. You've got the same for using groups and devices, and as you can see here, it's so the reason there was a little jump cut there was because when I saw enter a hybrid join, I was thrown off. I was like, well, that's not what we want to be encouraging. But when you click through to the link, it actually does tell you that you use hybrid join for existing clients, but you want to move to the then column, which is do enter a join only. Yep. Just for those people that might get confused by that. I think a broader point to make about this is that the solutions here are vendor agnostic. But what this shows you and what it demonstrates is quite how much of the strategy is covered by a Microsoft product. And so what it might reveal is that, okay, we need to do VDI. Let's start looking at that. Well, Microsoft has a solution for that. It's called Windows 365. It's called Azure Virtual Desktop. That might be something that you replace with whatever other solution you're using, whether it be on-prem or third party.
And of course, this is segmented into the identity roadmap, the device roadmap, data roadmap, and so on and so forth. It's all clearly laid out. It's not overwhelming. Like a lot of the times, even us, whether you are a consultant or internal IT, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with this stuff. There's a lot of new terminology, a lot of new technology going on. Keeping track of this is tough. If it's tough for me, it's probably tough for you as well. This is a very handy way to go through this stuff.
Yeah, and I can see this being used for if you work for an MSP or you do consulting like I do, you might use this when you first onboard a client to kind of discover what they've got and what you need to focus on. A lot of businesses don't even do app protection policies. They're not aware that it exists or that it's included within Tune or in Business Premium, E3, E5. This can tell you that. You might also notice on the blocks you see P2. So it's in that one, and then if we go back to identity, we see it in here as well. So P1, P2, so that just indicates which product plan you need to do the feature. I suspect that will change quite a lot as this template exists. So make sure you've always got the latest copy before you start using it. Alongside the Zero Trust template, because this is obviously blank, if you go to identity assessment, it doesn't know. There is a tool that runs PowerShell and Graph to try and populate some of that stuff in your tenant so you can get started. I can show you what that looks like today on a test tenant. So my test tenant here is just called conditional access, and if I go to device assessment, it will run through, and this spreadsheet is generated from the report, so you don't need to download it separately.
But how do I get there? What did you do to generate the pre-filled out report from your tenant?
That's a good question. So on the About the Workshop page, if I just get the right thing up, there's a video done by Merrill, which will show you how to do this. Essentially, the short answer is you need PowerShell 7, and then you install the module, and you run the module, and you sign in using model authentication, and it will just generate and spit out the file locally for them to work on. It's really easy.
It gives you a nice handy score, so you get a bit of a baseline of what's going on, and it highlights the things that you need to do, like we see here. The completed items are in pleasant green, and so Lewis, you have not been doing your job in your tenant clearly.
Yeah, this is my personal
firewall
tenant.
is not enabled.
Yeah, don't use macOS in my tenant just yet, but it's good. If you have a tenant where there's like a CEO that uses a MacBook, you can quickly see that the file was not on. There are other tools to do this as well, but I think some customers get confidence by having a first-party solution that can do it.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you can use stuff like the Scuba tool, which will do some sort of assessment on identity controls and teams, and then there's other stuff as well. But having something Microsoft, I think, makes that decision a bit easier, especially if you've got change control that you need to go through. Now, this is even worse. Some of this actually isn't accurate for this tenant. Like for some reason, it's not picked up any of my CA policies. I'm not sure if that's because I've done something wrong, but yeah.
But tools like this, even though I have complete confidence in this tool, even if the only value you get out of it is that it helps you start your zero trust journey, that is often quite enough.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be fearful from the term zero trust. I would kind of frame it slightly differently and use this as a security roadmap rather than thinking, we need to do zero trust. That's only for big businesses. It's not. You can actually do this on the business premium level, the sub 300 seat level, SMB level, and still get most of the way through what it's been described in here.
Also, it helps to keep in mind this is not a weekend project. This is something that is ongoing. It might take your business a whole year or 2 years to get through something like this. That's fine. If you can do it in 1 month, that's great. But if it takes your organization a whole year, that's fine too. The whole point is to get started. And 1,000-mile journey starts with one step, and this is a great way to get started.
Yeah, I had a really good point on a call Johannes and I were on, which was that if you do start this kind of thing, you should try and do it in person so that everybody is engaged in the conversation. and you can work through it and just get all the opinions out and say, well, where are we with PIM? Are we using PIM? No. Okay, what is PIM? Let's click on that and find out.
Do you even need PIM? I mean, is PIM a great thing? Sure. Does everybody need it? Well, maybe that doesn't really apply to your organization for any reason.
But I like the tool, and it should be said that anything you see on here is editable. If you've got a GitHub account, you can edit the page and submit a pull request. And yeah, the guys who made it are really keen to hear, first of all, how people use it, and secondly, how they are changing it to work for them. Because it might be that you've got a really good idea that could benefit everyone else.
And I think we've covered pretty much everything here. I don't think we missed anything specifically. The workshop guide is absolutely fantastic. It has videos, it has text, you have the Excel file. You don't need to do all of this in one go. It's an easy way to get started.
Yeah, our job today was to introduce it to you and show you how you can get started with it. And it's very simple.
I think that's a wrap.